Hey, this is Rich. AOK Product Reviews. I'm actually reviewing products again today. Go figure. So, I'll put that right there. Yesterday, I reviewed this beauty, the Boker Alluvial Justin Lundquist design. Really liked it. Today, I'm going to look at these two knives. We're going to go OTF on today. Now, I've talked about this knife a couple times because I like it. I think it's cool as heck. So, it's just a Smith & Wesson OTF. Smith & Wesson makes a lot of knives, and a lot of the knives that they make seem to be afterthoughts because they are so prolific in the gun industry. So they must have figured, why not make knives too? Or private label knives. Something tells me this isn't made in a Smith & Wesson gun manufacturing facility, or even a Smith & Wesson facility. Something tells me that this knife is potentially made by somebody else and designed and manufactured and made for Smith & Wesson. A lot of times that's how that works. I could be wrong. Didn't do any research into this. Just because doing research in some of these knife brands, it's kind of complicated. It's really a wormhole that goes into a maze, that goes into just a puzzle of kind of what seems to be BS. A lot of times you're like reading it thinking they're just making this crap up. Now they may not be, but it feels like it. So I've got this Smith & Wesson OTF, and I love it because it's not auto in, auto out. It's auto out, manual in. Most OTFs, they'll have this kind of little button right here. It slides, and the knife comes out. It says Smith & Wesson right there on the blade. It also has patent number, Oz 8 steel, and then a date on there, 322. Something tells me that's the date it was possibly made. Who knows? The blade, at least. It's sharp on both sides. Really pointy. I think it's a really cool knife. Now, when I did the review on this knife originally, I was disturbed by one thing. Okay, first off, it's kind of neat. A lot of times you'll get OTF knives or automatic knives, and they're kind of like a puzzle. This is definitely a puzzle. Couldn't figure this out. Didn't know how to receive it back in, return it back in, I mean. And then I messed with this, and there it was. This little button right here releases the blade. Gives it this loosey-goosey feel. Then you have this slide right here. Now, I feel the slide draw is really long. I wish they would have added a gear in there, something in there that would have reduced the pull on this so that you could have a full grip on it and then auto it down and stop right there and be able to do that with the full grip. The only way you're going to be able to pull this all the way down to here is a low grip. See how I got my pinky down around the glass breaker? Yeah, you got to do it like that. You got to be able to reach this, grab it, then you got to hit this, and you can do it all one hand. But I still like it a lot. I think it has a cool design. You know, the clip's got caution, blade ejects. It's got a little safety lock right there so that it won't eject or anything, which is nice because you don't want that thing going into your leg if you have it in your pocket. So you can put that on if you're safety conscious. I'm not. I'm a risk taker. I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. I'm a glass breaker. Oh yeah. I'm also a poet. Okay, so there you have it. That's the OTF Smith & Wesson Oz 8, all black. It's really nice. I like it a lot. Now, let's get to kind of what you're all probably here for if you watch my channel, is this little, I'm going to call it a gem. It's not. It's real light. It may weigh maybe, an ounce and a half up to 2 ounces. It's aluminum. It's got the little switch There's no safeties. There's no anything. It's just very flat, rectangular box with a little thing here and a flathead screw there and a flathead screw there. It's really simple, and I don't mind that. It just feels like a carnival gift. But who's to say that makes this knife any better or worse, that it feels that way? All I do know is I've ejected this quite a few times. I also don't know what steel it has. Now, this was almost $50 on sale, regularly $70. That seems like a lot. It is an automatic OTF in and out, so those carry a price. The in and out aspect, that you just do this in and out. And I've done this quite a few times, and it doesn't come close to failing. You know, so there's a fail because I hit the notepad. Just push it back down in. Now we're seeing some issues. There you go. So that's all you got to do. So when you do fail it like that, give it a little tug, and you're back rocking and rolling. I don't mind that. That's pretty kind of impressive for such a small little. I could have this in my fist. You know, I like that too, because, you know, old Zipline, he's been known to be in a fist fight too every once in a while. And boy, that makes your fist really solid. So then if the fist fight's not working out for you, because old Zipline's got his butt whipped before too. Now, I thought that would be cool because I'd have it like this and boom. Now you can cut the dude up if he's beating you up. That's tough guy talk. That's all it is. Just stupid tough guy talk. All right. Now, I don't know what steel this is. Now, this blade is very, I'm not going to call it flimsy, but it's very small. It really feels like a little Swiss Army knife coming out of there. And if you know Swiss Army knives, they're sharp. Let's see here. Oh, and I forgot to even mention how this all even got started. Yeah, it's not very sharp. This is a AKC knife. So is this one right here. This is the one I'm real excited about, though. I'm not so excited about this. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of different. It's kind of neat. Maybe throw it in your backpack, little pocket, and you have yourself a little pocket knife kind of thing that's automatic. I don't know. I try to find uses and thoughts, good thoughts and uses for some knives like these. And really, they're just to kind of be cool. It's kind of like pull it out of your pocket, pick the dirt out of your fingernail or food out of your teeth, and somebody say, "Oh, that's a cool little knife," and you're like, "Yeah, that's my AKC OTF, blah blah blah, minion concord dagger with a spear point blade." And what's weird though is this is sharp over here, and this is sharp over here, but you got a sharpening choil there, a little tiny one, and no sharpening choil over here. Very confusing to me in the knife world. I'm trying to find value in it because I've read a little bit about AKC now. And AKC stands for Angelo Knives Creations. Angelo, oh geez, his last name. I'm not going to even try his last name.
Templin.
Whatever. But he was an Italian dude. 1923 started making knives. And then like in 1999, he started AGA, you know, and he had a couple Americans, I think Brad West or something, said, "Hey, why don't you call it AGA?" Because you got Angelo Gianni as his son, and then Angelo Jr., which is his grandson, Angelo's grandson. So they did. 1999 went to like AGA. But I don't know if they put that on the knives or anything because it seems to be AKC throughout. But in 1999, they kind of linked up with, what's his name? Robert Kloss with Kissing Cranes. And he was in Solingen, Germany. Solingen, Germany is where the main Boker manufacturing, the original Boker manufacturing, and where they still manufacture knives in Solingen. So that just must be one hell of a knife town. But Solj in Germany, Robert Kloss, and they created Falcon knives. Yeah, so there's some decent history behind this, and I'm telling you, I'd like to do this about 1,000 times just to see if it'll do it 1,000 times, but I'm not gonna. But there's a little bit of history there with the AKC. I want you to carry that on to when I start talking about this one, the Smarty. Smart pants, smart ass is what I'm going to call it, the smart ass, because I couldn't figure out how to open that thing. But yeah, it's just fun little knife that was probably way too expensive. I really think if I had my hands on this at a show or in a store, I wouldn't give any more than $25 for it, just because of its uselessness. It doesn't seem useful to me. It's just a conversation piece, but it's cool. You know, it is cool. It's an Italian knife. So you got to be proud that there's countries out there like Italy that really, you know, of course, Italy with the stiletto. And I believe AKC makes stilettos too. But this Smarty is cool. It's really cool. I keep going back to that. Sorry, but I'm just whatever. And of course, I got my ProTech right here. Oh, the ProTech. And I got some more Bokers over here. But this was about the Smith & Wesson. This was the OTF version of the week for automatics. This is an auto manual because you got to manually put it back in. This is auto